For those of you who are just joining us today, maybe this is your first time exploring meditation. I just want to say thank you for trying something new. If you're coming back after a few sessions, welcome back. And if you are a long-standing participant, so happy to see each of you again today. Next Monday, we're going to be talking about gratitude, and we're going to be doing a little session on letting go as we step into the colder and darker seasons of the year. And then the weekend of Thanksgiving, we are going to do our Spanish session. So we won't have a live session that week. Either take a vacation day or continue to tune into our YouTube channel, find something that either resonates with you or you particularly found challenging. And we have other virtual programs you can join on Wellness Wednesdays or Fitness Fridays. This Wellness Wednesday, we're doing a social engagement platform where we have what we call our creative connections. This week, we'll be doing art therapy. Art therapy can help improve physical, psychological, and social functioning in people living with Parkinson's disease. So you can join us as we celebrate National Family Caregivers Month during our next Social Engagement Creative Connection series. I particularly like this social engagement series because you can see people. It's not just a formal lecture, you get to see your community. So if this is something that you guys really enjoy, seeing your community, maybe try this week's Wellness Wednesday for creative connections. And just to share the mission of the Parkinson's Foundations, for those of you who might be joining us, I want to be sure that I share the mission of the foundation. So the Parkinson's Foundation staff and volunteers are working to make life better for people with Parkinson's. How do we do that? To achieve our mission, we pursue three goals. We try to improve care for everyone with Parkinson's. We advance research toward a cure, and we empower and educate our global Parkinson's community. If you need resources or support, please do not hesitate to reach out to our website at parkinson.org. You can call our bilingual helpline at 1-800-4PD-INFO, or if you prefer to write, you can email us at helpline@parkinson.org. And now I'm so grateful to share the screen with our expert neuropsychologist from the Cleveland Clinic. Welcome back, Dr. Taylor Rush.
Thank you, Krista. Hi, everyone. It's so good to see everyone on this Monday morning. I was telling Krista this is really a highlight of my week, and so I'm so happy to be here to share this with you guys. So I was thinking about my topic for this month, and I realized as we were heading into Thanksgiving, and now we are heading into the whole onslaught of various holidays and get-togethers and changes in the season, I was feeling personally a little overwhelmed and a little chaotic, just because I think last year I felt slightly spoiled by the lack of those things. I tend to be a little bit more of an introvert. I like peace and quiet. I like being able to do things on my time. And now I'm like, oh man, my social calendar is starting to fill up again. We have family things that we're doing. There's travel. There's a lot that's going on. And interestingly, as I have talked with some of the patients that I see, they're noticing some similar experiences to some extent. And so as I was thinking for today, I thought that maybe we would practice in a grounding meditation, specifically a mountain meditation. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with a mountain meditation, this is basically where we spend some time envisioning ourselves as being anchored as a mountain. Because as we all know in life, there are many things outside of our control. And sometimes that's, the people that are around us, sometimes that's our circumstances, and sometimes, and this is something that I talk with my patients who have Parkinson's a lot about, it's that they feel sometimes out of control even of what their body is doing. And so being able to anchor to a sense of stability, anchor to a sense of being durable, anchoring to a sense of peace, that regardless of the change that occurs around us, regardless of weather shifts or season shifts, that we can be as enduring and stable as a mountain. So I have a script that I'm going to use today that's based off of a script that's provided on a mindfulness website that I will share with you guys as a resource. It's called paloozemindfulness.com. And I think we will place that address in the chat for you guys to reference. But this is actually a really great free resource for people to be able to look up different mindfulness topics and to be able to access different scripts, different audio meditations. And so I'm going to use one of the ones that is on there for mountain meditation, which is actually an adaptation from John Kabat-Zinn, our father of modern day mindfulness. It's an adaptation of his original script that he uses as part of his 8-week mindfulness-based stress reduction program. So if you look online, you'll see that there are many different variations that include different descriptors of how to do a mindfulness mountain meditation. But I really like this one in particular, just my own personal taste. So I thought that we would kind of do a slightly longer meditation than what we might normally do in these sessions, just to give people a little bit more practice time with some of these meditation ideas. So I know for some people, they love talking about meditation, but even more so, they really enjoy doing it. So I listen to that feedback and I want to incorporate it as we can. So, and just as a point of practice, that with this mountain meditation, again, it's about being able to anchor in a sense of resoluteness, a sensation of enduring, stability. And so sometimes for my folks with Parkinson's, they're like, yes, but I have tremor and I have these other movements, I have dyskinesias. And so sometimes it's really hard for me to sit still. And so I recognize that, and I want you to understand that even if sometimes your body may not be as grounded or as still as you would like it to be, some of the stillness is much more in terms of how you feel internally and being able to develop a sense of stillness despite what some of your body parts might be doing. So this is challenging and often takes some practice over time, but let's at least kind of test the waters out today as well as we can, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get in as comfortable a position as you can find. And if you can do that in a sitting position, that's ideal. And if you can have that seated position with your feet kind of touching the floor, that would also be ideal in trying to help to present a feeling of groundedness. So whatever position helps you feel stable and poised, and trying to maybe align the spine, allowing your arms to loosen into your shoulders as much as they can, and anchoring to the breath. Noticing the point at which you can sense the breath the most. So whether that's your nose, your mouth, your throat, and your lungs. Not trying to change the breath, but just bringing awareness to it. As you breathe in and as you breathe out. Observing the cadence of your breath. Not needing to do anything to change it. You are breathing perfectly well just on your own. Allowing your body to be still sitting with a sense of dignity, resolve, a sense of being complete and whole in this moment. Feet grounded on the floor, head held high. And now imagine the most beautiful mountain you have ever seen or could imagine. Slowly allowing it to come into focus. Even if it's hard to capture as a visual image in your mind, allow the sense of this mountain, feeling its overall shape, its lofty peaks, the large base rooted in the earth, possibly some gently sloping sides. Take a moment to notice and appreciate how massive it is, how solid, how beautiful. Maybe your mountain has blanketed snow towards the tops and rich green trees down towards the base. Possibly some craggy granite sides. Maybe noticing streams or waterfalls. Several small peaks. Maybe noticing that in certain areas there could be meadows or lakes. And as you develop a clearer picture of this mountain, see if you can bring that mountain into your own body sitting here, so that your body and the mountain in your mind's eye become one. You share in the massive, solid nature of the mountain, as well as its stillness and majesty as you become the mountain. And as you become grounded in that sitting posture, you may notice that your head becomes the lofty peak, supported by the rest of your body, allowing you to have a panoramic view of all that surrounds you. Your shoulders and arms are the sides of the mountain. Your hips and legs, the solid base. Experiencing in your own body a sense of uplift from your spine and your sit bones. And with each breath you take, possibly becoming a little more of a breathing mountain, alive and vital, unwavering. As you sit here, perhaps becoming aware of the sun as it travels across the sky, light, shadow, and colors changing moment by moment in the stillness of the mountain. Even as the surface of the mountain is filled with life and activity, plants, animals, streams. As the mountain sits, seeing and feeling how night follows day and day follows night. Bright, warm sun, followed by cool night sky studded with stars. And through it all, the mountain sits, experiencing change in each moment constantly, yet always just being itself. It remains still as the seasons flow into one another, and as the weather changes moment by moment. Calmness abiding all change. In any season, it may find itself at times enshrouded in clouds or fog, or pelted by freezing rain. Someone may come to see the mountain and comment on how beautiful it is, or how it's not a good day to see it because of cloudy or foggy or dark conditions. Yet none of this matters to the mountain, which remains at all times its essential self. The mountain's magnificence and beauty are not changed one bit by whether people see it in sun, clouds, heat, cold, day, or night. At times, the mountain is visited by violent storms, buffeted by snow and rain and winds of unthinkable magnitude. And through it all, the mountain sits, unmoved by the weather, by what happens on its surface, by the world of appearances. It remains its essential self. In the same way, as we sit in meditation, we can learn to experience the mountain. We can embody the same unwavering stillness and groundedness in the face of everything that changes in our own lives over seconds, hours, or years. And it's true that we experience storms of varying intensity and violence in the outer world, as well as in our own minds and bodies. By becoming the mountain in our meditation practice, we can link with its strength and stability. We can use its energies to support our energy, to face each moment with mindfulness and clarity. So if you find you resonate in some way with the strength and stability of the mountain in which you are sitting, it may be helpful to use it from time to time in practice as we are now. In the few moments that remain, continue to sustain this sense of being the mountain. And the calm and stability that comes with it. When you're ready to come back to our group here, go ahead and start shifting in your chair, moving the shoulders, opening your eyes when it feels right. Bring our attention back to our group. Great. I'm starting to see some eyes open. Doesn't look like anyone fell asleep completely, so that's good. And you must be listening because you're laughing, so this is good. So I always like to reserve a few minutes for any questions or comments about the practice, what people liked or what may have been difficult, because I'm sure for every comment, there's at least 5 other people that feel the same way.
Dr. Rush, if I may, as we start to offer longer meditations, even personally, I experienced quite a bit of distractions, a lot of pulls at my thoughts. And I can imagine that, yes, I'm seeing tons of people shaking their head, yes. So maybe you could just talk just a little bit about the pull on thoughts when we're trying to focus our attention in mindful awareness.
Absolutely. So distraction is part of life, right? It is part of our experience day to day. There's constant pulls at our attention in every direction. And yeah, so Linda and Billy say monkey mind. Yes. So sometimes we say monkey mind, sometimes we say reptilian mind, but it's basically our reaction mind, right? And so last month I talked a little bit about mental distraction and how to try to curb that a little bit. And one of the things that I say is that, in my mind, it's always squirrels. And so the squirrels kind of are always around when I'm trying to focus on the tree. And it can be really easy to go and follow all the squirrels in different branches of the tree. And so, but being able to refocus the attention on what it is that you want, despite some of those pulls, because the pulls are going to happen. we're not going to get rid of those. That just tells us that your brain is alive and working. And so the real skill becomes redirecting back to what it is that you want. And so whether that's grounding, your feet into the floor, whether that's coming back to the breath, whether that's, imagining that your shoulders are part of the sloping mountain. And so just trying to redirect back gently without judgment, right? Because the more we judge ourselves for straying, the more we end up getting entangled in some of those thoughts. And so being able to say, okay, yep, my mind went to my grocery list. That's okay. I'm going to bring it back. That's just, my brain trying to protect me and make sure I don't run out of milk. Okay. So bring it back. Oh, I'm thinking about, my grandson's soccer game on Saturday. Okay, that's fine. I'll think about that later. Let me come back. And so just gently redirecting, because that is where the power is in mindfulness, is not how many times you stray, but how many times you can notice it and bring it back without being harsh and scolding yourself. You're going to notice other things. It's a great experience of the brain to be able to integrate information. Just be kind to yourself as you need to redirect and bring back. And the thing that I find is that the more you practice over time, the easier that gets to sustain for longer periods of time. I have people who at first, they do 5 minutes and they're ready to crawl out of their skin. But with practice and with time, they're like, oh my gosh, that was 20 minutes, like for real? So the more you do it, the more practice you get, the more you'll be able to do it for longer stretches. And a lot of that redirection will come a bit more automatically. It's never completely automatic, but it gets better. So don't get disheartened and discouraged as we elongate some of these mindfulness practices, because it's just, it's like we're adding an extra mile to the treadmill. At first, it's hard and a little bit uncomfortable, but over time, we are able to start incorporating it better. So stick with us.
And that's a good reminder too, is you can end your meditation when you feel it's appropriate for your body and your mind. So if we're going for 15 minutes and 5 minutes, you say, oh, I'm done. Feel free to let go of the practice. So
absolutely.
Billy wrote a comment in here that he found himself shifting mountains. So he was envisioning one mountain and bouncing to another one, which I think is so appropriate when we take this metaphor of a mountain and these transitional times of weather, but we're still here grounded in our life, right? The mountain might look different in each phase of life. So thanks for sharing that, Billy.
Absolutely. And I think we have the Palouse Mindfulness website in the chat for those of you who are interested. Oh, I love that what people are sharing their mountains that they were. And Sharon says, practice, not perfection, is the key. That is absolutely true. We are imperfect beings and are kind of sculpted to be that way. So don't expect perfection out of an imperfect object, aka your brain. A lot of these mountains I'm going to have to look up now.
I know, I'm intrigued to see these mountains. That website is for those of you who might be joining us late or visiting the recording. It's palousemindfulness.com, and that's spelled PALOUSE mindfulness.com. Great, Jennifer, just put it in the chat, so you guys might have to scroll up to get to it. All right, we are 3 minutes after our time. Thank you, Dr. Rush, so much for your guidance today, your gentle words and voice of guidance. We so appreciate you taking your time.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Of course. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday for gratitude. We'll see you then.